Good evening. On World TB Day today, we have Dr. Shanta Misra, the Director of Health and Beyond, in conversation with Dr. Gopa Kumar, who is a TB survivor and a TB activist. Dr. Shanta, a doctorate in alternative medicine, is the health communication expert and firmly promotes mind and body wellness. Over to you, Dr. Shanta.
Good evening and welcome everyone. Greetings from the Health and Beyond group. As we observe the World TB Day today, the 24th of March, our viewers would benefit by knowing more about this disease and how they can prevent this disease from affecting them. We have amongst us Dr. Gopa Kumar, National Coordinator of Touched by TB, a national coalition of TB-affected community in India. He has been working in national level TB projects, and today he will discuss about tuberculosis in India and share his experiences on combating the disease. Dr. Gopa Kumar is a TB survivor and has been working in the field of TB for over a decade. He is a member of the Global Fund India CCM and presently the Vice Chair of the Global Fund Oversight Committee. He had suffered extrapulmonary tuberculosis in the past, wherein he experienced a delay in diagnosis and faced social stigma to some extent. He has held the post of the Chief of Party for a US-funded market-based Partnerships for Health project in Western Uttar Pradesh. Further, he has also co-founded the National Coalition of TB-Affected Community. This coalition is working very closely with Central TB Division to end TB by 2025. His main work is in Sikkim, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, and Delhi, wherein he engages the affected community as peer-to-peer counselors to increase TB awareness among the community. He has mobilized several hundreds of TB survivors in the past who work as TB champions. So welcome, Dr. Gopa. We will now go live on some of the issues around tuberculosis. And the very first question I would like to ask is, how big is the problem of tuberculosis in India?
Thank you, Dr. Shanta, for providing me this opportunity to speak on this World TB Day. World TB Day is very important to all the TB survivors and champions working in this field. Regarding your question on how big the problem of tuberculosis in India is, you will be surprised to know that nearly 28% of the global TB burden are in India. So you understand almost 1/3 of the global TB patients are from India, and also India is the capital of drug-resistant tuberculosis. So this will give your viewers an overview of how big the problem of TB in India is. Surprisingly, one of the oldest TB research institute is from India, based out of Chennai. And people who used to do a lot of research on TB, in those countries, they could eliminate TB, for example, United States, Canada, New Zealand, etc. But in India, even after having all those kind of scientists and facilities, how TB deaths kept on increasing, and Government of India had several programs: a National Tuberculosis Elimination Program, revised National Tuberculosis Elimination Program, and so on. Now, recently it is renamed as National Tuberculosis Elimination in the NDEP. So we have several names and changed to our TB programs in India, and but still the TB is a biggest problem, infectious disease killing many of us in India. People rough estimate is that on an everyday, like if two jet aeroplanes are crashing, that many kind of deaths are happening due to tuberculosis in India. Now you understand the magnitude of the problem. So, because of the delay in diagnosis and not completing the TB medication, because TB medication needs at least 6 months of medication. So, what is happening is people who diagnose tuberculosis, they start medication after 2-3 months, they feel better and they stop medication. This leads to drug-resistant tuberculosis. Before that, we were having only one drug-resistant. Now we are having multi-drug, and now we are having XDR TBs, which is resistant resistant to all TB medicines, which is a very, very critical problem. Instead, for example, for a TB drug sensitive tuberculosis, if the medication is for 6 months, but XDR TB, you have to continue your medication for a minimum of 24 months. So there are people who are taking XDR TB medication for last 3-4 years continuously also. Even then they are still remaining positive. So that is a kind of magnitude of the TB problem which we are having. But again, within India also there is a wide variations of TB burden. For example, Lakshadweep is declared as a TB-free union territory in India in the year 2021. And here in 2021, in one of the districts in Jammu Kashmir, Buddham is declared as a TB-free district in India. So we are progressing towards, in small pockets, we are trying to, end TB because there are new TB cases are not reporting from those areas. But our target is to eliminate or end TB from India by the year 2025, which is 5 years ahead of global commitment. So we are working towards that with the Central TB Division and other state, NDEP programs in all the states too, so that we can at least go near to ending TB by the year 2025.
So as you have mentioned, India has a target of eliminating TB by 2025. So how do we achieve this goal? What efforts do our implementers, our program implementers have to take, or our healthcare providers and the community as such? And you've also mentioned that they get, the TB disease is not eliminated because also of people leaving their dose in between instead of having it for 6 months or 24 months. So how long can they, safely take a break? Is it possible for them to take a break, or they should adhere to the medicines throughout?
TB, yes, I am coming to the TB medication. You cannot take a break. It's a course, it's a dose. So you have to continue the dose. Even if you cannot miss the medication not more than 2 days. So you have to continue because the bacteria, the outer layer of the TB bacteria is so thick, so very strong medication continuously you need to give to kill the bacteria. So if you miss the dose, it will multiply fast. So that is a problem. So you cannot take a break. Like any antibiotics, TB medication is also like that. Coming to your question on commitment for ending TB by 2025, 5 years ahead of the global commitment. In the year 2018, our Honorable Prime Minister in the Vigyan Bhavan in front of a larger global community committed that, India will work because everybody was blaming India that, you are taking the, bulk of the TB case load, and unless you are not reducing the case load, the global TB burden is not going to reduce. Try our level, put all our efforts together. There is a huge, gigantic task, but we will work towards that. So we will put all our efforts and resources and technical experts in place so that by the year 2025 we will eliminate TB so that you take care of the remaining 5 years. So he committed. So after that, TB was a neglected area, like Global Fund and all fund for 3 diseases: tuberculosis, HIV, and malaria. So TB is an old disease, people get it, people cure it, some people, poor people die it. Before that, there was a belief that TB is only affected to poor people, but it is not true. Many rich people got affected, including Amitabh Bachchan. We know that is why he became the brand ambassador for TB. So there's nothing to do with poverty or TB, but definitely there is a relation that you need to live in a proper ventilated area, slum areas, and you will find more TB. But anyway, after this commitment, Government of India put a lot of effort. For example, for every TB patient, they are giving 500 rupees as every month as Nikshay Poshak Yojana. That is a nutritional supplement. So when many people, what happened is this TB medicine you need to take at the empty stomach. So if you are not healthy, if you are not strong enough, you will omit it. So you need to have strong nutritious food. So government in 2018 started this yojana. For every TB patient, they will be getting 500 rupees every month till the treatment is completed. So that they started. So then there are a lot of programmatic change. Government realized that government alone cannot end the TB. So they are involving all the other stakeholders like private sector and other professional medical associations like medical council of India, then other professional bodies, and then also other stakeholders like druggist associations and less qualified people, Ayush doctors, etc. are also roped in. And before that, the private sector never notified. Now they are incentivizing the private providers. If you notify, you will get 1,000 rupees, so that we'll have an idea how much is our denominator. So all these efforts are ongoing. And the best thing which they did after 2018 is involving the affected community. That is, the people who suffered TB, they are the TB survivors, and they are involving them as peer-to-peer counselors. So that is a great thing with which they could include in India, because it is happening in many other countries. So all this effort, making impact. So I mean, after in between we got COVID, so a lot of tests were not happening. So post COVID, the case number of cases diagnosis gone up, testing gone up. So more number of cases are coming up. So we are in the direction of controlling TB, but I am not sure how far we will end TB by 2025 because of the huge population, huge case load. But we are in the right direction. Even if by 2025 we are not completely end TB, but we will be very close to ending TB by 2025.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. You have successfully fought off tuberculosis. Would you like to share your experience on how you overcame this disease?
See, actually, I am a well-educated person settled in Delhi, but I got pulmonary TB. Even I never thought that, I never know that, other than lungs, any of your organ will be affected by tuberculosis. That was a new knowledge. So people think that TB means it's only pulmonary TB. But after, diagnosed with extrapulmonary TB, I realized that other than your teeth and, nail and hair, any portion of your part of your body can be affected by tuberculosis. That was a great news for me. But even now, people are thinking that TB means it is pulmonary TB, it is contagious, you will spread. But that is not the case. So when I diagnosed with tuberculosis, people also thought that I will also spread. So everybody will not disclose. I was in the peak of my career at that time, year 2020. 2000, and I don't want to disclose to my colleagues, immediate family, friends, etc. Suffering, thinking that they will isolate me, they will run away from me, thinking that I am going to spread tuberculosis for them. So that is a kind of stigma I faced. But I went to the private doctors, and they could not diagnose. So I have to do a lot of doctor shopping, and I have to take different kinds of medicines, antibiotics, etc. In the initial stages. Then later on only, I was diagnosed with the tuberculosis. Then private doctors were not very cooperative. Finally, I have to end up in, government doctors, and then they given me correct advice. I completed the course. Then I became TB free. Then I decided that I should work in the TB space to help people that how TB is spreading, how this death can be avoided, etc. So I co-founded the Touched by TB, which is national coalition of TB survivors, TB affected community in India, and we have several hundreds of members all over India, and we spread the information and make people aware that if you have a cough for more than 2 weeks, please go for a sputum test. And if you tend to be positive, please complete the course. Don't stop in between. These are the messages we communicate. And it is really, working, and people are coming to us, joining us, and we are spreading our wings all over India. We also got few awards because we worked extensively during COVID time. Our champions, delivered medicines in the doorsteps and got beaten up by the police, etc. So we are committed to end TB, and we work very closely with the Central TB Division and other state NDEP departments.
So, Dr. Gopa, you have said that there is stigma associated with this disease. Is it still there today? Is it still present? Because it is a curable disease, as we all know.
Actually, yes, many people still believe that if you got TB, it's a lifetime. You will spread TB to other people. So even if you are cured after 6 months or 8 months or so, people never come nearby you, thinking that you still spread. So that is because of the awareness. Actually, the real thing is that once you diagnose TB, even if it is pulmonary TB, after you take medication, after 3 weeks, you won't spread to anyone. That is a kind of medical but medically it is proven, but people doesn't know, so they think that these still you spread disease. That is why it creates stigma. So there are two kinds of stigma. One is individual personal inward stigma. I don't go to my child, I don't go to my wife, and I don't go to my nearby people thinking that I may spread TB to them, so I keep myself away. So that is one kind of inward stigma. Other is outward stigma, external stigma, which people avoids you because they think that they will get TB because of you. So these two things are there. For example, if a young unmarried girl gets TB, she will never disclose. She never take medicine from their nearest dot center, because in a village everybody will come to know that she got TB. Then no one will marry her. So those are kind of things. And I come across many cases when the wife got TB, husband abandoned her, deserted her. So those kind of things are also
So
there.
will this affect successful elimination program, since they will not be diagnosed, or they may not take the medication? Will this be an obstacle to the successful elimination
It
of this
is still an
program?
obstacle in rural areas, but people know that if they don't take medicine, they will die. It will get into, drug-resistant tuberculosis. So they are taking medicines, hiding those factors. They take medicine, they will throw the blister somewhere else. And
Okay.
if the daughter-in-law got TB, she will hide it from her mother-in-law. So like that, it is not affecting us, but it is really having a kind of impact. But we have so many anti-stigma campaigns, and we reach out to the rural areas, and many mother-in-law FGDs. We are doing it to make them aware that this is a curable disease, nothing to worry. But there are some kind of changes happening all over. But there is really changes happening. But we have to travel a lot. We have miles to go to end stigma. But we are on the right direction, and we are getting the light at the end of the tunnel. So we are hopeful.
So we'll have lots of viewers watching this and getting many of their problems solved, or at least cleared. So what would be your message for people affected with TB? And what would you advise to the community at large? What would be your
First
advice?
of all, my advice to them is it's curable, nothing to worry. Now there are a lot of advanced molecular diagnostic tests are in place, like gene expert and all. So you will find out that whether you are having TB or not. If you are having TB, whether it is drug sensitive or drug resistant. If it is drug resistant, how many drugs, which drug, all those things results you will get within 4 hours. So those kind of advanced diagnostic molecular tests are available everywhere in India. So nothing to worry. So pulmonary TB symptoms are basically cough. So if you have a cough more than 2 weeks, please go for a sputum test. And if you are positive, take the medication. Now we have shorter regimens. Before that we have to take the 6 months regimen. Now new drugs are in the market. New drugs are coming up for the MDR TB, XDR TB. So nothing to worry. Shorter regimens are in place, and before that they have to take injections. Now there is no injection. So it's all gone. Now there are new regimen, new advanced drugs, and all those things are in place. So nothing to worry. So, but if you have cough more than 2 weeks, or if you have any hardness in anywhere in the near your this portion near the neck or groin area, etc., immediately show to the doctor, do an FNSC test, and if it is TB, um, go for the medication. And it can affect any part of your body. People think that is only lungs get affected. No, it can be your any part of the organs can be affected except your teeth, nail, and hair. These are dead cells. So except these three parts of your body, any body can get affected, including your heart. People think that your heart may not get affected by TB, but I have muscles won't work properly, and some of the medicines are medication, and it can affect any part of your body. People think that is only lungs get affected. No, it can be your any part of the organs can be affected except your teeth, nail, and hair. These are dead cells. So except these three parts of your body, any body can get affected, including your heart. People think that your heart may not get affected by TB, but I have cases where people are getting affected TB in their heart as well. So that is the reality, including brain, intestine, anywhere. So if there is any problem, but extrapulmonary TB still there is a difficulty in diagnosis, but we are working towards that for advanced test for extrapulmonary TB. So those tests are there. So nothing to worry, it's curable. Before that, you have to take but some of these medicines got side effects. Some of them affects your hearing. For example, XDR-TB medications will reduce your hearing capacity. So some of the medicines affects your nervous system, so your muscles won't work properly. And some of the medicines are suicidal tendency type. So if you are taking medicines, you feel like suiciding. So all these things are basically addressed by our champions. So they go to the patients and counsel them, tell them that I was also like you once upon a time. Look, now I am back to normal life. So you will also be like this. So that gives them a lot of confidence, courage, moral support. So my champions are really every day they are meeting the patients, and they are doing the peer-to-peer counseling and hand-holding them to come out of the stigma, the mental depression, etc. So that medicines will also work. When our champions go, the patients say that only 50% medicines work, rest is your counseling, your peer-to-peer counseling. Now I am confident that my TB will be cured. I will also be back to normal life. So those kind of emotional support our champions provide them, and that really is working.
Dr. Gopa, you're doing excellent work and very admirable work, and this conversation has been very illuminating. I'm sure a lot of viewers will get, a lot of information about this disease. So thank you, Dr. Gopa. And we end this conversation with the theme of this year, Yes, We Can End TB. So
yes, that is what we are going to have a meeting in Varanasi to celebrate World TB Day. So there also we are spreading this information that yes, we can end this TB, and also we are spreading the information that TB harega. TB देश जीतेगा TB हारेगा. That also we are reaching out to people, and that is becoming a slogan. These are the two slogans we are spreading for during this World TB Day. Yes, we can end TB, and TB हारेगा देश जीतेगा. Thank you so much.
Thank you.